Happy Sunday. Okay, so today we did Inspector Gadget. This isn't really to deal with the plot, but in the first scene, why is everything so green?
Dr. Bradford is out of the lab and we can go. Sykes, release the remote control down.
Someone's gonna play the old lady.
Slippy, let's go.
Okay, in this scene, Skolex and Sykes are in their limo using a remote control, mind you, a remote control van to go to Dr. Brenda's lab to steal the foot. So later, after they steal the foot, and first off, he has the foot. Okay, so like in the black van were some little robots, you know, that they kill Dr. Brentford's dad to steal the stuff, and they retreat back into the van, and then later we see the guy. I just saw this movie, Skolex, have the foot. How do you get the foot? I mean, it kind of looks like the van did stop at their limo, and that's how we got the foot. And that's maybe just what I'm gonna say. But anyway, later when man, I can't think of the names. John is following them. Who's the remote control? Because the minion Sykes is driving, and the main villain Claw, or who ends up being Claw later, he's holding the foot and impressed with it, I guess. So who's driving the remote control van?
So, okay, let's say there were two guys trying to rob a jewelry store, and you wanted to trip them up. What would you do?
Okay, let me think. Go Gadget oil slick.
Okay, so I mean, I like this movie. Growing up as a kid, it was my favorite, one of my favorites. Mostly because I had a crush on Matthew Broderick. So in this scene, he calls out Go Gadget oil slick, but out comes toothpaste. And in one scene, he actually calls out a gadget that doesn't come out. And every other time, he had to be pretty accurate in what he was asking for. So why was this toothpaste? I mean, I don't know why he couldn't just have oil, but they gave him toothpaste. But why did toothpaste come out?
John, he just offered me a job. He said that I would have unlimited funding, my own lab, and complete control of all my research.
What about your other research?
Didn't you have your own lab in the first place? I mean, there didn't look to be anyone else there. And who was in charge of your research if you weren't? You were the only one there with this foot, besides your dad. So why do you need this job with Skolex Industries?
Hey, Brenda. Let's hang out, okay? Have some quality girl time.
How does this work if he sweats? I mean, he got pretty much blown up, so I mean he has skin again, and I don't know how long the recovery process was, but apparently the Dr. Bradford was a long time, which I don't have the clip, but but she makes it assume it's, I mean, not a long time, but a long time. But he has skin like everywhere, but how is he supposed to sweat if he's like mostly a robot?
I'm sorry, Gadget. Good help is so hard to find these days. Would you mind if I do the honors? Well, here goes. Arrivederci. Ciao, ciao. Goodbye, Mr. Church. Dump this.
Okay, this one's not really plot convenienced. It's just more a mistake, and I haven't watched any videos, so I don't know if someone else has said it. But when he's talking to Gadget, and he makes it look like he's more facing like more of his right side is facing towards Gadget. So he pulls out the chip because he says "Arrivederci, ciao ciao." He shows like him doing bye. Yet it's his claw that's pulling the chip out. But if you looked, well, okay, in this scene, if you looked, it's his right hand that's the claw, because he uses his left hand to push the button to close the thing. But it's his left hand that was broken.
No! Uncle John! Wake up!
Please don't tell me. No. The NSA chip is gone.
It is me, Chip. It's got the heart. Do it all by himself.
But they replaced his heart. Oh no!
You don't bump the Gadget Mobile. The Gadget Mobile bumps you.
Okay, so this guy Skolex spends his whole movie trying to get rid of Inspector Gadget. Usually leaves it up to his minions. At one point, does deal with it himself by pulling out the chip. But he's on your helicopter now. Just aim low, and off he goes. I mean, yeah, he might come back to you eventually, but he's not just hanging around. And you know, you got Brenda. I mean, so just let him drop. I'm not rooting for the villain, but I'm just saying, like, drop the hero and take off with the girl.
Go Gadget air brakes. Go Gadget airplane brakes. I don't want to go anymore.
Didn't you read the manual? Try something else!
Go Gadget glider. Go Gadget balloon. Go Gadget parachute. Go Gadget giant trampoline. Go Gadget circus net. Go Gadget feather bed. Go Gadget hay wagon. Go Gadget bubble wrap. Go Gadget parasail. Parakeet. Paraglider. Parasol. Umbrella?
John, you did it! You saved our lives!
I did? I guess I did. Wowzer.
Just watch out for the big head!
Understood. You know, arrogance can sneak up on you, and I won't.
Oh, that big head! John! Are you okay?
Okay, so pretty much the last clip. Do you remember me saying earlier he calls out for a gadget that doesn't come out? So in the clip, you know, that eventually he saves Brenda by doing some pen trick to make the helicopter crash. She jumps on his back, then they both end up falling. There's two things, I guess, with this, and one of them kind of annoys me. But to go on to my first point, he calls out for, it's like what, maybe the third thing or second thing. But it's after he says he doesn't know what to go anymore. But he says parachute, and after he pulls a George and instead of a tree hits the statue, the parachute's out after he's already in the water. So I mean, he does call for the gadget, but I mean, when I saw it again, I'm like, maybe because Brenda was on his back, but there was like no force to show that it was happening. Like maybe like Brenda could have. I mean, I don't know. There's just so many things with that. You know, Brenda could have, the force could have been so strong that Brenda practically falls off, or you would see some part of it, kind of like if there was like a fan blowing in my shirt type thing. Or it could have happened. It could have came out right after she got off of him. But I mean, it was a few second delay, but still. And the second thing that bothers me is she made this guy and his car. But I mean, I didn't show that, but she made his car. She works the car pretty well. Like, she knows the buttons and everything. So they're falling to their death. And she says, "You didn't read the manual? Try something else." Maybe you could just tell him what he has, because obviously he didn't read it, the whole thing. And that's a big manual anyway. So obviously he didn't read the thing. So you're letting yourselves fall to your death just so you could count on your boyfriend to save you guys. But that's just like one of the little things that bother me, you know? I mean, I guess it's a Pixar movie, but the same with The Incredibles, Violet's like, "You said not to use our powers. You guys are about to explode, and you want to use your powers, to hide from your boyfriend, or to hit Dash with your force field because he's speed running around you." It's just kind of like that. But so anyway, guys, thanks for putting up with this episode of Only for the Plotline, and we'll see what we have next week. Bye, guys.
Go-Go Gadget Glider! Go-Go Gadget Balloon! Go-Go Gadget